In the vast kingdom of Odan, Prince Jaremi was the mightiest warrior of his time. His broad shoulders and chiseled muscles struck fear into his enemies, and his sword had won countless battles. Kingdoms trembled at the mention of his name, for he was undefeated in war. He was kind-hearted to the extent of fighting battles for the kingdoms and kings who were loyal and in good terms with his father. Yet, despite his strength and honor, Jaremi carried a burden heavier than any sword. He could not find a bride. It was not his courage that failed him, nor his wealth or status. It was his mouth. Whenever he opens his mouth to speak, a foul smell fills the air, making maidens shrink away in disgust. No matter how many women he has approached or courted, they all rejected him. Some even pretended to faint just to escape the smell. Others ran, covering their noses. Maidens in the land could only admire him from afar. One by one, the most beautiful and noble daughters of Odan found excuses to refuse his hand in marriage. Some said they feared the life of a warrior's wife. Others claimed they sought a man with a softer heart. But the whispers in the marketplace told the real reason. The prince's breath smells worse than a rotten carcass. Ashamed, Jaremi tried everything. He chewed mint leaves, rinsed his mouth with river water, and even prayed to the gods, but nothing worked. His father, King Okai, watched in sorrow. "My son, you are strong and brave, but without a wife, who will give you heirs to rule after you?" Jaremi clenched his fists. "I will find a cure, father. I will not die alone." One day, messengers arrived from the Kingdom of Ganda, where King Okai's best friend, King Banku, ruled. "Invaders have attacked our lands," the messengers pleaded. "Our warriors are few and our king is old. Please help us." Prince Jaremi did not hesitate. "Prepare the army. We ride at dawn." After days of travel, Jaremi and his warriors reached Ganda, where they met the beautiful priestess and seer Anaya. She was unlike any woman he had ever seen. Tall, graceful, and wise beyond her years. She wore a white robe adorned with golden beads, and her eyes held the secrets of the universe. As she approached him, Jeremy's heart pounded. But when he opened his mouth to speak, she did not flinch. She did not turn away. Instead, she studied him carefully and said, "Your curse is not of nature, it is of the spirit." Jaremi was shocked. No one had ever called it a curse before. Anaya continued, "Fate has brought you here, not just to fight the war, but to be healed." Jaremi did not quite understand, but he had no time to ask questions. The battle was near. At dawn, the enemy stormed the village with flaming swords and arrows. Jaremi led the charge, his muscles rippling as he swung his mighty blade. He fought like a demon, striking down warriors after warriors. Even when wounded, he pressed forward, determined to protect the land of his father's friend. By nightfall, the battle was over. The invaders were crushed, and King Baku embraced Jaremi. "You have saved us, my son." But Jaremi was not thinking about the victory. He turned to Anaya and asked, "Can you truly cure me?" She smiled and looked at him with a mixture of admiration and deep concern. "Your strength is great, but your suffering is greater. I can cure you, but it will not be easy." For 7 nights, Anaya prepared special herbs, mixing them with honey and sacred water. Each night, Jaremi drank from a golden bowl, feeling the bitter taste burn his throat. On the 8th day, she led him to a river and asked him to kneel. She placed her hands over his face and whispered, "By the gods of the old, let this curse be lifted." A cold wind blew through the trees, and Jaremi gasped. It felt as if something dark and heavy had left his body. Anaya handed him a fresh leaf. "Chew," she said. He obeyed. The moment he swallowed, he spoke. "Is it done?" Anaya nodded. "Breathe on me." Jaremi hesitated, then exhaled. Anaya smiled. Your breath is as fresh as the morning breeze. Jaremi's heart leaped with joy. He turned to the heavens and roared in triumph. I am free! Jaremi made his intentions of marrying Anaya known to the king, King Banku, who freely gave his blessings. When Jaremi returned to the village, Odan, he did not come alone. He brought Anaya, dressed in the finest gold and silk. She was the most beautiful woman in the land, and her wisdom made her even more desirable. The same maidens of Odan, who once rejected him, now watched with regrets. They whispered among themselves, if only I had given him a chance. But it was too late. Jaremi and Anaya got married in a grand ceremony where other kingdoms, kings, queens and esteemed royalties were in attendance. Kingdoms he had helped to fight battles all came to celebrate him. Everything seemed beautiful, but danger was lurking ahead. Was Anaya really a God-sent wife to Jaremi, or was she his doom? All this will be unveiled in the next episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story and you wish to see a part 2 of this story, please comment part 2 in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications so that you will also be the first to be notified when the next episode drops. Bye! See you in my next video.